Hello and welcome, boys and girls.
Today we will be learning about the wonders of the white mangrove, specifically why it can survive in salt water.
White mangroves are usually located in marsh-like expanses or tropical regions, such as areas of the Caribbean and Pacific coastlines, Panama, Costa Rica, Belize, the Yucatan Platoons, Central and Southern Florida, many West Indies, Caribbean islands, Bermuda, parts of coastal Ecuador, northwestern Peru, and Brazil.
These plants are generally smaller than their counterparts, the red and the black mangroves, and often grow more upland, above or around the high tide mark. These plants have flat, oval-shaped leaves ranging from 12 to 20 centimeters long and blossom in spring and summer, making propagules. Although there are three main mangroves, the red, the white, and the black mangroves, there are 20 other true mangrove species, and 60 other associated mangrove species. Little is known about the lifespan of these plants, but it is hypothesized that the maturation age and lifespan are somehow linked to the periodicity of hurricanes.
This organism faces some difficulties, as it lives in salty or marshy water, so the process of osmosis often gets disrupted or contorted in a way that negatively affects the plant. Since the water has high amounts of substances that cannot pass through a semi-permeable membrane, the water is taken from the cell to dilute the hypertonic solution, therefore evening out the concentration gradient and attempting to reach dynamic equilibrium. This causes the cell in its membrane to shrink, eventually shriveling the cell to death by dehydration.
This is the cell without its adaptation. The cell functions normally, energy is produced, things are regulated, protein is made, and things are sent out to the cell as needed, to the plant as needed. The cell here is soaked in a saltwater solution and has no way to filter the salt out. It goes through osmosis in order to dilute the solution so it can absorb the water, because it cannot in its current state, and the water, or most of it, is sucked from the cell, shrinking the organelles and the membrane, preventing them from performing their functions, which ultimately kills the cell, and if this happens enough times, ultimately kills the plant. The cell wall remains unaffected because it is a non-living structure, so the plant remains its shape, but its inside slowly corrupts and degrades. The water is diluted, but the plant dies.
The mangrove has adapted to these challenges by creating a system to filter out the solute, mainly salt, using active transport. Once a salt is filtered, osmosis can continue as usual because no substance is inhibiting the transport of the water. The salt is sent to certain leaves in the plant, which when filled with enough salt, disconnect from the plant and fall off.
This is a method used to allow the plant to survive in such complicated environments. Clearly, mangroves are a stellar plant. This is Kel and Cody. Thanks for watching. Hit that subscribe and like button.